I'm going to be predicting the next three WWE Women's Champions, whether that's Women's World Champion, currently held by Rhea Ripley, or Women's Champions, currently held by Tiffany Stratton, because the WWE ecosystem under Triple H has seen a renaissance in recent years, and especially with the women's division. Most recently, we had Triple H shifting the movement. We've gone from Liv Morgan as a long-tiered world champion. Now it's back to Rhea Ripley. We had Nia Jax taking the title off of Bayley at SummerSlam, putting it on to Tiffany Stratton after Tiffany Stratton won Miss Money in the Bank and ultimately cashed in Money in the Bank on Nia Jax, becoming the women's world champion. There is a ton of talent that WWE and Triple H in their ecosystem has been able to create, whether it's on the main roster, whether it's in NXT. Your Julias, your Stephanie Valkers, your Roxanne Perez's, and many, many more down in NXT waiting to be called up. Let's get into the list. Number 3, it is Bianca Belair. Now, I understand that there are reports out there of potentially doing a Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair match at WrestleMania 41, and I would absolutely love to see it. Yes, they've worked in the past on the main roster in tag matches and multi-person matches. We've seen them work singles matches, very selective though in NXT. We've never seen a one-on-one Bianca Belair Rhea Ripley match on a grand scale at a premium live event with the biggest stakes, with the biggest titles, with the biggest on the line, and certainly at a WrestleMania, that would be no doubt. Rhea Ripley is currently Women's World Champion. I think it's time you get Bianca Belair. She gets off of SmackDown. She gets away from Jade Cargill. They are clearly setting the scene for something else with Jade and the mystery attacker. You have Bianca Belair, you drop the titles, you bring her to Monday Night Raw, you have her feud with Rhea Ripley. Now, I don't know if she'll necessarily win the Royal Rumble, and by the time you hear this video, the Royal Rumble is over. It doesn't matter if she won the Women's Royal Rumble match or not, but I can see them going with Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, however they get there. And if they don't do it at Mania, then I can absolutely see them doing it in the near future. What we do know is this: Rhea Ripley is not losing this Women's World Championship anytime soon. She's going to make it to WrestleMania. Now, she's recently coming off of a Saturday night's main event title defense over Nia Jax in a pretty solid match, a rematch from Elimination Chamber 2024 down in the home country of Australia for Rhea Ripley. Bianca Belair has not been a top singles star, a top singles champion at least over a year because of her alliance with Jade Cargill. So we have an established act, we have an established babyface, and more importantly, we have an established top star that could absolutely lead WWE to water and be a top star. She also hasn't been on Monday Night Raw in a few years, and certainly the top women's champion on Monday Night Raw. So if I'm WWE, I'm absolutely looking at not only getting in the ring Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, having the clash, but I would also take a serious look at Bianca Belair as your next women's world champion. I think she fits too well on Monday Night Raw. I think she fits too well with the Women's World Championship. Gets her away from Jade without having to split them up, which is something in which fans have pushed back on. They don't want to see them clash. They don't want to see them go at it. And you know what? I can respect that. I can understand that. But at the end of the day, I think Bianca Belair back in a top tier singles championship type role would absolutely be great. I would think it'd be great for the fan base. I think it'd be great for the women's division. And I think it would be great because she can mix it up. You could feud with the Liv Morgans of the world, and you can feud with, you can run it back with Becky Lynch if you want to. There's so many aspects that you can do to have her in the hunt. In terms of having these banger type matches with all these fellow top tier stars. At number 2, it's Becky Lynch. Now, we know that Becky Lynch is on her way back, or she's already returned, depending on when you hear this video. Regardless, I think Becky Lynch is someone that you absolutely have to have in the title picture. The last time we saw her on WWE television in May of 2024, right? She won, I think it was Elimination Chamber. She challenged Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania 40. It was a massive, massive match. It was Becky Lynch really entering her megastar status, and it was Rhea Ripley who had been a champion for a year up to that point. It was a clash of champions. It was a clash of top-tier stars, and obviously Becky Lynch put over Rhea at WrestleMania 40, and it was a shock because most people figured, okay, Rhea's going to hold the title for a year. You put the title back on Becky, bada boom, bada bing. That wasn't the case. Rhea goes down with an injury. Becky wins the vacated championship. Then she puts over Liv, drops the title to Liv, takes time off, and had a long, long run with, a long hiatus. So you bring Becky Lynch back, and she's automatically going to be put in a top tier star. You just know that she will be. That's what she is, right? You don't have John Cena be brought back and have him do jobs to everyone. Oh, wait, they did that. But let's just say she's different from John Cena in the sense of she's not on literally past her prime, literally on the back nine of her career, right? And she's also not John Cena, who will legitimately do anything that the company asked him to do. I mean, if they told him to go out there and bark like a dog, he would probably do so. So a little bit different. But Becky Lynch should absolutely be back in the title picture. I would love to see her go to SmackDown just to change things up. She's been on Monday Night Raw literally for years. However, I can understand why you would want to keep her on Monday Night Raw. I can understand why you would want to keep her on now the flagship show once again. It's Raw on Netflix. It's the biggest platform in front of the biggest audience. Yada yada yada. I get all that. So if you don't want to put her on SmackDown, which I think would be the faster track to getting a championship on her, then keep her on Monday Night Raw. Either way, this list is obviously not something in which has to happen tomorrow. You still have the full year, y'all. We're only in early February. So you can absolutely have Becky Lynch win the Women's World Championship, win the Women's Championship, and still have a long reign as 2025 goes on. Perhaps a SummerSlam is the spot to put the championship on Becky Lynch. Either way, I think it's just a matter of when, not if, especially now that she's brought back. She's been away for a while. They're probably going to double down on the whole man character, so you just roll with it if I'm WWE and if I'm booking Becky Lynch. And at number 1, it's Charlotte Flair. I think it's very clear cut. There's been reports of her wrestling Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. If not, they've already confirmed it by the time you hear this. I think if you look at the transition in which they're going, I think the Tiffany Stratton match makes the more sense, but I could be wrong. Charlotte Flair is someone that is consistently booked in championship matches. That's what they love to do with her. She will break the women's world record. Well, actually, I think she's already set the women's world record, but she will set the all-time world championship title reign record, currently held by John Cena and her father, Ric Flair. It's just a matter of when she sets the record, not if. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but they've clearly chosen her to be the top tier female star. And you can't blame them, right? From a checklist standpoint, she hits all the boxes. From the looks to the promos to the in-ring ability, this woman can do it all inside of the squared circle. I do not knock them for booking her as strong as they do. Now, how you get to that title record, I don't know. But in 2025, yeah, you best believe Charlotte Flair is going to be a women's world champion. It's just how you get there. And more importantly, is it going to be in a situation in which she's a babyface or a heel, right? Like that's another thing. Just because when she returns at the Royal Rumble and how she's returning doesn't mean where they're going to be going in a few months. If I had to guess, she's going to be women's champion by the time that WrestleMania is over with. But I will say this: I look forward to the day. I look forward to seeing Charlotte Flair back on top because, regardless of what you may think of her, she is one of the best, not only women's wrestlers of all time, but one of the best in-ring wrestlers, regardless of gender, of all time.